It is the Frank and Friends show. Hi there, I'm Frank Murphy.
Hey, I'm Sarah Roberto.
Sarah, I feel like you've been here all week.
Have I?
Well, no, but I'm happy that you're back.
Happy to be back.
Because we spent every moment when we're not recording getting caught up and chatting.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's been a lot of fun, and thank you for coming back for another episode. Kathryn Frady is supposed to be here, I guess, soon. On Thursday's show. So that's, it's up to you, Kathryn. Are you coming back?
Come back. We miss you.
Absolutely do. And got to hear, of course, she's going to want to promote her next opera and all of the things.
Rossini is coming up.
Well, that was this past Saturday.
Rossini is not coming up. Rossini happened.
Her next opera is The Copper Queen in June, so she'll want to hype that.
Yes.
Meanwhile, speaking of hype, Kathryn runs our website at frankandfriendsshow.com/store, where you can find all of the merch, including t-shirts, wine glasses,
bucket hats,
pint glasses, bucket hats. You can just say bucket hats every time. Sweatshirts, things that go on the back of your phone, the phone cases, the little poppets,
the multitude of colors.
Yeah, whatever they make at the merch store. All of the different things. I signed up for everything I could. Beach towels.
Yeah.
So I can use at the swimming pool. You could get a beach towel.
I'm going to get one. I'm going to get one because I'm liking the logo. The logo is very retro.
Back here, you see back here, Jody Collins did that.
Of course he did.
Feral giant. Do you know him?
Everybody knows Jody. He's the best. I've seen concerts with Jody. I love him.
Oh, well, I only finally met him in person on April 8th.
Okay. Just like recently?
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Well,
I thought you knew everybody.
Well, I mean, he made this. I hired him to make this logo.
Yeah, he's the best.
It was Hutch and Howard guy. Rob Howard said, "You got to get Jody to make your logo." So,
I don't know Rob Howard. Who is he?
So then I had to get him to make another logo, which is the one you're looking at.
It's awesome. I love it.
And see look back here.
It's
see,
gorgeous. It's so retro.
This is what's on the beach towel. This exact same thing.
I'm getting it.
It's like the Great Smoky Mountains with a tawdry motel sign that says Frank and Friends Show.
Turn here.
Yeah.
For fun.
And when the plant, you see you got the plant back there, that kind of makes it's almost grown up enough to blend into the logo.
Yeah, and there's a little turtle friend back here.
That's Mo.
That I was wondering about because we did the first episode, previously, and I didn't realize that there was a little petrified turtle back here.
He's freeze-dried, technically.
He's freeze-dried, taxidermy turtle.
Well, technically, he's not taxidermied because all right, here's what I learned.
But it's a good alliteration. It rolls off the tongue.
Yes, it was, in fact, I think it was Al Holmes Taxidermy of Wetumpka, Alabama, took care of Mo and freeze-dried him.
So tell me about Mo. He was your pet?
He was my pet in California, and he had this respiratory disease that is common among desert tortoises. And I was trying to find some kind of exotic animal vet as he took ill. Yeah. And I probably,
buddy.
I don't know if I waited too long. Maybe I should have had him get regular checkups. I don't know why. Anyway, the point is he's got the bubbles coming out of his nose and I'm looking it up online and they're like, you've got a dead tortoise. I'm like, he's not dead yet.
No.
No, you basically, you have a dead tortoise.
No.
Because it's very common in that species. So
I don't want to hear no mo.
So anyway, we had him. Taxidermy is when you take the skin off of an animal and preserve the skin. Dermy, skin, taxi, preservation. And you put it on a frame. But with small critters like this, Al Holmes said, no, we'll just freeze dry them. Actually, the way he said it was, I'll fix them up for you.
Yeah, I never knew the subtle nuances between freeze drying and taxidermy.
Right. Well, how do you peel the skin off a tortoise?
Yeah.
Aww. So he's, and then if you think he's looking at you, that's not his real eye.
He is looking at me. That's what I first noticed.
Those are the extra eye. In fact, when I first got him back, it freaked me out because his real Mo's eyes were a slightly different color.
Oh.
So I had to get used to new Mo, but I'm used to him now. He's not new anymore. He's been back there for 10 years.
Can we cheers to Mo?
Cheers to Mo.
To Mo.
To Mo.
God bless him. Till we see you again, friend. Exciting.
So I suppose, when it's time to clean out the house, when my children have to come take all my belongings away.
Mo will always have a good home.
I hope that they keep Mo for a while. I mean, I wouldn't hate to see Mo at a flea market or a yard sale.
Don't even put that, don't manifest
pawn
that.
shop.
Don't put that into the universe.
I don't want that.
No. Well, it's great to be back on the show again.
Mo should get a TikTok.
Mo should get a TikTok.
No. Mo should not get a TikTok.
Ooh.
Well, maybe
he'd get 100. That's your way to sponsorships. He'd have like 75 million. It's just Mo doing fun stuff. Just Mo being Mo. And just like, give me Mo.
So in other words, I would take
Mo.
taxidermied Mo and put him like on top of the sun sphere or weird places and take
anywhere
pictures.
you go, like if you do something for the radio station at Dollywood, like just stick him up on Dolly's shoulder and
see if she notices.
And just see if she'd be fine with it.
Of course she would.
It's the adventures of Mo.
It's like Flat
This
Stanley.
is a great idea.
It's like Flat Stanley. You take him around.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you're questioning this. This is awesome.
Because I like him too much to take him out there into the weather, into the conditions. He's preserved.
He is preserved.
But I mean, I don't know what would happen if he fell in the...
Yeah, he'd get some wear and tear.
Yeah.
Poor Mo. Okay, moving on.
Maybe, I need to find a gift for my grandson who is similar to me in many, many ways. In fact, he'll guest star on the show when he's in town. He'll pop in.
And how old?
Well, he just turned 8, and he's making his first communion next week. So we need to find him a present.
I'm trying to remember what I got for my first communion. And
were you? I didn't even think you were Catholic.
I went to St. Mary's.
I know, but I didn't think you were Catholic. Did they run you through the system?
I just love Jesus. Let's just leave it at that.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely.
So what present did you get?
What prison?
Present.
Oh, present.
Gift.
I was like, did I go to prison?
No,
did
sorry.
I forget about that?
What did they give you?
I can't remember. I think it was like a stuffed bear. I think it was like a white stuffed bear.
Oh, all right.
No, that was cool for me because like.
No, it's fine because
I was like 7.
We've been looking in the religious catalog for an appropriate gift, and everything strikes me as the kind of bric-a-brack knickknacks that an old person would have in their house that nobody wants anymore. For example, gifts for children with their first communion. They have these little boxes that say "My First Communion," and you put your rosary inside.
Yes.
Or they have a little statue of a child praying.
Precious moments.
Made out of porcelain.
Yes.
No 8-year-old boy is. First of all, that's not going to make it through the end of the day. That's going to be broken by the end of the day.
It's true. And kids are much older than they were when I was little. Like they're much more mature.
Okay.
They're not a child as long as we were. I feel like I was playing with Barbies and stuff when I was like 10. 10-year-olds don't do that.
Giving him a rosary bead, and which is probably a fine idea, but you'd have to give him one that's made out of like some kind of industrial steel because
it would get broken.
Yeah. So
boys will be boys.
I've been having this conversation with my wife, and the idea that I have, I'm working on selling her on this idea. And I want to find a book, a religious book about martyrs who got beheaded. Because I think, being an 8-year-old boy, he'd be into that. It's like, here's Saint so-and-so, off with his head.
I was going to say an Xbox. Just go straight for what he wants.
No.
Are kids still playing with Xbox? I think they are.
Oh, he loves the video games.
Yeah.
In fact, when he comes here, he loves to play them.
Just get him an Xbox.
I don't know.
That's not my... Fun or trauma? What you're saying is traumatizing. Beheadings. No.
I think he'd be cool with it. I think because
he'd be like, cool.
He enjoys the story of the Headless Horseman.
No.
Yes.
No, I can't.
Well, I think
I'm 43 and I don't enjoy that story. It's scary.
Well, when he had an assignment at school where they had a scarecrow with a pumpkin as a head, and they were supposed to cut it out and color it in, or color it in and cut it out, right? Yeah. So then all the children are turning in their scarecrow pumpkin for Halloween. Artie took it one step further. He beheaded the drawing and glued the head onto the hand.
You must be very proud.
I was so excited.
Can we talk about things we were scared of when we were kids?
Sure, what were you
scared
of?
Because I had a very specific fear. I wasn't really afraid of a whole lot, but I'll tell you what I was afraid of, because they still have them today. Chuck E. Cheese. 2 words, Chuck E. Cheese, will instill fear in my heart. Those animatronic things that sang and danced, terrifying.
Do you know Amanda Marr over at Cerebral Chamber of Commerce?
I do not. Is she also afraid?
No.
They're scary.
She took her son on a field trip to Kentucky because someone has restored one of the sets of those.
Is it like, so I'll take it back further. You're talking about like Showbiz Pizza.
That's what it was. Was that what became
that was the one that was
Zuma Fun Center?
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Or what was it called? Celebration
In the 80s,
Station?
Yes. Those places, terror. Like sheer terror.
Well, somebody has collected up the bits and pieces and put the band back together.
This is my
And the
nightmare.
closest one is in Kentucky. So they did a day-long field trip to go see the old Showbiz Pizza robotics.
I got taken there, like when taken. My parents
She was abducted.
took me
You've heard about it.
for my 4th birthday.
I went to the pizza place and I was taken.
Like Liam Neeson, just grabbed. Okay, so I went to Showbiz Pizza at my 4th birthday. My parents probably thought this was lovely, you know, pizza and games. And I
That's
remember,
why you go. It's like a break as a parent.
No.
You go there and you think, okay, as long as we can lock the children in this room, we can sit down and have a beer.
they did serve beer back then. I do remember that.
I will tell you a quick side note. This lady I know named Frida was a DJ in the Washington, D.C. area. She told us one day, so she had this incredible nightmare that she and her son both died. He went to heaven and she went to hell, and they both ended up at Chuck E. Cheese.
It's probably true. Except for me, it's not heaven. I was like under the table
for a kid.
holding it.
For
I
you
was
as a
the
kid.
It terrified me.
Because of the robots.
The robots, I would close my eyes. I'll start to shake. It was scary.
But they didn't get you.
Not yet. Oh. You're telling me they've reconvened in Kentucky. This is not good news for me.
Well, I don't think they're marching forward. I don't think they're getting any closer.
New fear unlocked.
Well, do they still have anything at actual Chuck E. Cheese?
I have no idea because I'm not stepping foot in that place.
Okay.
I don't know if they still have them. I don't know. I don't know. Like maybe they sing Usher now. I'm not really sure. But no. No.
Well, I thought okay.
Very afraid. So don't give your grandchild a book about beheadings and don't take him to Chuck E. Cheese.
I found online a book about mostly Canadian saints who were martyrs. They all got killed. And I thought it was a group of them. So I thought, that's interesting.
You're going dark places with your grandson. Just dark, dark places.
My grandson...
Just give him some ice cream. Good job, sport. Here's some ice cream. Just leave it at that.
All right. I mean, I'm trying to think of something that would have... Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's fine with ice cream. I mean, I'm
Who's not
sure
fine with ice cream? Even lactose intolerant people like ice cream. Everybody likes ice cream.
Okay. I was trying to get something with a slight religious overtone.
Oh, yeah.
That's all. I was trying to... instead of... What else do you get them? I mean...
Setting him up for a lifetime of faith. You're trying to be...
Well, he's a
grandpa.
good kid. He goes to Catholic school.
Now, are you grandpa? Are you pop? Are you peepaw? Are you...
Well, my first choice was grandfather.
Grandfather.
But that was not, that was not allowed. That was rejected. I said, I would like to be referred to as grandfather.
Yeah?
But no, grandpa is what I went with.
So you went for the much older, not like a
I went with the same thing.
Younger,
same
fresher.
thing that I called my grandfather, which was grandpa.
Yeah.
To me, it's the most basic.
What I think is funny.
I don't like the really weird ones.
The memes and the
some of them are like from a foreign, like Uma, I guess is some other foreign language or
cute though.
Nano or something. But I don't know. But I just went with
grandfather.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was cool. My father died before my kids were born, so we didn't have to. We skipped.
Yeah.
It was like we skipped a whole generation of this conversation.
Yeah.
So when it came time for my daughter to have children, I was like, oh, great, I'll just be grandpa. And my wife is going through all the rigmarole. She wanted to be...
Yeah, what did she pick? What did Jerry pick?
Well, currently she's going with grandma without, like Gramma, which is misspelled to me.
No, I love that. That's cute. And not all this is out the window if the kid can't pronounce it. When the kids are little, they have to be able to pronounce your name.
Well, my grandchildren have remarkably good diction.
They're very smart.
Well, no, it's because of the Amazon, the talkie computers.
Oh, okay.
They're very competitive. Okay?
So they're light years ahead of where we were.
They're very competitive, and the older one mastered the art of requesting the Bon Jovi. They also like classic rock, or the older one does.
Fun.
So he knows how to work that machine to play whatever song it is that he wants. And there was a time frame where the younger brothers, couldn't speak, and they would have to, and they would get mad because no matter what it was that was going to be played, Artie was the one who could commandeer
He was
the
in
machine.
full control.
So now the younger two, they end up developing their speech patterns even faster than he did.
Nice.
Because they
Want control.
want to be able to override him and play Baby Shark or
No, not Baby Shark.
whatever song it is. I mean, Charlie will play Baby Shark, but I think he's now outgrown that. Pick a song. But yeah, they
I'm curious what young children listen to these days.
there's all sorts of video game themes that I don't know. Artie asked me to make him a playlist on Spotify.
I love to make playlists.
It was a lot of work.
This is my passion.
It was a lot of work. So I made him
a ton of work.
a playlist. So I've got Artie's playlist on Spotify.
How fun.
There's something called Grass Walk. And
Never heard of it.
it's from a game called Plants vs. Zombies.
Okay.
There's something called the Me Channel theme.
We Will Rock You.
That's
Just the Imagine Dragons version.
no, that's Queen. We Will Rock You. Imagine Dragons Thunder.
Oh, I just can't read.
No. So this is what he put on his playlist. So there's a lot of classic rock on here,
Nice.
and then a lot
Little
of
Bon Jovi.
Super Mario, Wii Sports,
Elvis.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra. Well, I showed him a video of Jerry Lee Lewis and Elvis. I showed him a Jerry Lee Lewis video where they set the piano on fire.
Awesome.
So he's like, he wants to put that on
That's
the
it.
playlist.
Put that on
So
there.
all these other weird songs that are on here, The Legend of Zelda mixed in with the theme
This
from
is
Jurassic
cool.
Park. And then I snuck in the Headless Horseman theme. He's like, who put that on my playlist?
This is a thoughtful gift. I love this.
What?
I love this. So yeah, I come from the time when we would record songs off the radio. Like that was my favorite thing to do when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I got a little pink Sony boombox
Yeah.
and put the little cassette in there. And sometimes if I didn't like the cassette I received, I'd put the tape over it, record over it,
Sure.
make mixtapes.
Yeah,
And I would
yeah.
get a lot of DJ voices over my songs. Like they would be talking over the Bartman song, in like 1989. It made me really sad.
That's our actual
Or
job,
Richard
though.
Marx.
But our actual job.
Yeah, but I'm like, stop talking over Richard Marx. I want to hear my song. Or whatever it was. Milli Vanilli. What did I listen to in the late 80s?
All these
I
things.
mean, I was a
yeah.
kid, so I listened to a lot of nonsense. But
Right.
Bobby Brown.
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
that was just so fun. That was the original mixtape making, playlist making. It was fun.
And I thought, I worked in radio, so it didn't occur to me to do that. But actually, if you go back before I was in radio, when I was a kid, I would hold the microphone up, but I recorded only TV theme songs.
Fun. Okay.
That was my passion. I had dozens of cassettes, and I had an itemized list.
What was your favorite one?
Well, Batman, of course, but
Okay.
I would like the Munsters.
that's
so all
a
these
fun one.
shows they would show every afternoon. So I could, if I made a mistake and didn't get it just right, I only had to wait until later in the day, or sometimes they would show 2 episodes back to back.
Yeah.
So I could just half an hour later, get the theme song for all these old timey shows.
That's fun.
And then I would stay up late and try to get the new primetime shows. Yeah.
Wow. It's fun how technology has changed over
It
the
is.
years. And then in the late 90s, when I had zero money as like a late teens, early 20s young girl, I actually bought the CDRs and would I would download music off Napster. I did that.
Yeah. A lot of people did.
Illegal. But then I would make mixtapes and actually make mix CDs, and I thought it was the coolest. I just thought it was the coolest. I was like, here's my Sugar Ray Fiona Apple playlist for you guys. There's a little Cher on there too. Maybe a little Dr. Dre. It's just, you never know what you're going to get. It was fun. And I would make mixed CDs for somebody. Like, there's a guy I liked. I made a mixed CD for.
Well, I mean, in mixtapes
Yeah.
is how that started. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I made a mixed CD for my first husband. I should get that back. That was like real effort. That was like a real labor of love to do that. But you made mixed CDs for somebody. It was very sweet. It's kind of like the
So
modern day
first
soda
husband, now you know. She wants it back.
Yeah.
Speaking of weddings,
Send it to my house.
Wait, your house?
Yeah, send it to my house.
He got that too?
No.
You got the house.
No. I got everything.
Oh, good for you. Good lawyer. Yeah, speaking of weddings and places where you can have a wedding, let me tell you about this spectacular place in Northern Virginia, up where my family lives.
Okay. Is it far away?
Well, it's in Northern Virginia. Have you heard of that?
Like, is it just an easy breeze up 81? Is that what you
Well,
do?
theoretically. I
Okay.
mean, it's near Washington, D.C. and Dulles Airport.
No, that's far, far away.
From here.
From here.
But we have people if you're watching in the Washington D.C. area, then it's just a nice
It's just a
weekend,
scoot down the
just a
road.
jaunt to
you go.
Middleburg, Virginia.
It looks gorgeous.
It is. It's the Middleburg Barn at Fox Chase Farm.
Ooh.
And it's got the Swarovski crystal chandeliers, and it has the
please.
ultraviolet HVAC system, and you can
Right.
have your fundraiser there, and you can be in the hunt country of Northern Virginia, in Loudoun County.
Swanky.
And the barn is only 5 years old, believe it or
It looks
not.
gorgeous.
And my friend Maureen
Look at that place.
built it from the ground up. Trying to find some nice pictures there of using the old style of construction.
I'm gonna keep
There's
this in
no
mind
nails.
for wedding number 3. Hey. My husband can never watch this. I'm sorry.
Well, you don't have
I'm kidding.
to. You could go have. Let's say your husband's in politics. You could go have an event in the Washington D.C.
There we
suburbs.
go. Get that Washington D.C. money.
That's what I'm talking about. So you call Maureen.
gorgeous.
You call
Gorgeous
Maureen at the barn.
Yeah.
And they also have an actual horse farm there. They normally during the season they'll have people doing their jumping over
nice.
steeplechase things.
Yeah.
And they'll have charity horse shows, perhaps.
Our daughter used to do that. She used to ride horses. She
With the
was
hat, with the
equestrian.
hard,
Yeah, and she was,
fancy hat and the
she was
tight
good at it. She weighed like 80
slacks and
pounds, so she was perfect. They just sat her on top of that horse and off she went.
Wow.
She's tiny, tiny human.
Is that, do you have to be a tiny, I guess jockeys are small.
Yeah. I think it helps.
Okay. Well, anyway, you could even have a horse come, apparently, according to this picture.
gorgeous.
You can actually have a horse come to your ceremony. And
What could be more majestic than a horse at your ceremony?
the swans,
Yeah.
Fred and Ginger,
Yeah.
they've got swans. They're mean. They're mean as all get out, but they live there, and they swim around, and they're very graceful, and you can incorporate them somehow. You can rent,
the ambiance.
you can rent the cottage on the property and use that as your bride's room if you
Nice.
wanted, or not. But you get the whole venue for 12 hours. When you rent Fox Chase Farm, when you rent the Middleburg Barn, there's no other double booking that day. It's just you.
It's just you.
So
I love it.
40 miles west of Washington, D.C., about 25 minutes or drive from Dulles Airport, and you can act like really you're in another world.
And it's actually pretty convenient because from here in Knoxville, you could get like a one-way flight, easy peasy, be up there in
Yeah.
hour and a half.
Well, if you really were driving there, it'd be most of the day. But if you were going, you wouldn't just go and come back on the same
Yeah.
day. You'd go and you'd stay on the property and you'd enjoy and you'd do all the
Pet
things.
the horse.
Yeah.
Enjoy. It's
So
beautiful.
my friend Maureen has that, and it's a beautiful place. The Middleburg Barn at Fox Chase Farm. You can go to themiddleburgbarn.com, or you can call old Maureen and tell her I said so at 540-687-5255.
Awesome.
So you do have you talked about how you were joking about it, how you've got an advanced degree, high-paying job, and also you have a very successful husband.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you for all these
lucky.
things.
Thank you.
I'm very proud of you. I know people like you from church and elsewhere. Like there's this guy I know, he's an orthodontist, very successful. He, when I see him on Sundays, he has these amazing cars.
Yeah.
He's amazing, and he's a giantly tall man, and he folds himself up into these little
tiny little-
two-seater sports cars
Yeah.
and drives home from church.
And they're fun.
And I'm like, wow. And so I get a lovely email from him.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I occasionally have the guys over.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And he says, yeah, we gather for, fellowship, and there's going to be brats, and there's going to be food, and there's, I guess, cigars. I said, well, I don't smoke cigars, so I don't really care about that.
And beers.
And
Sounds
then
very manly.
It says something about how cards and chips will be provided.
Okay.
So I thought, well, what does he mean? Guacamole and chips? No, he meant
poker.
playing cards and chips.
Yeah.
So now I'm terrified because I've said I'm
should
interested.
be.
I've said I'm interested in
Oh,
going.
they're going to take all your money.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's
Put it back under the mattress.
So what do I do? So I thought, well, I don't know how to play poker.
I know how to play poker. I wouldn't say that I know how to play well.
So I told him. I said, first of all, I asked him what the buy-in was. I got no response.
That's your warning sign, folks.
All right, if you have to ask, you can't afford it.
That's true.
So then I said, well, I don't know how to play cards. And he said, well, you know what? I'll have flashcards for you. I'm like, oh, this is bad. Because, I thought he might say, well, then don't come.
Maybe it's a fun twist. And because I've done this before, like you go for like a casino night, but the money is all like Hershey's Kisses or Werther's Originals.
No, it was
something
it
like
was
that.
it was
You're paying
cash.
for treats.
It was cash
Oh,
money.
well, you're in trouble.
So I go and I'm thinking everything's fine, right? We have the brats, we have the potato salad. Great conversation. These are fascinating people.
Yeah.
Every one of them has some kind of interesting thing about them.
Going on.
Right? And they're even asking me about my little podcast show, and they're interested. They seem genuinely interested.
Because it's cool.
And we're having a nice chat. And then one guy brought ice cream from Brewster's. That was his contribution.
that
Most of
would
us
be
brought bottles of liquor because he was making, what was he making? Old Fashions in a pitcher with these enormous ice cubes,
Ice
these
spheres,
balls.
yeah.
Oh, of course you know about this.
The spheres.
Yes, I'm over in Sequoia Hills. So of course I think that everyone has these, right?
No, yeah, you have to buy the special little molds. And
You have the special little mold.
cool.
In fact, I even opened my big mouth and said, I watched a YouTube video on how you can make that clear as glass without any of the cloudiness in the middle. And he thought, that's impossible. I'm like, well, I can send you the video. It's science.
It's a how-to.
Yeah.
Science.
But so everything's going fine. And then next thing you know, they come out with these metal suitcases. And we go out to the big, enormous screen porch where the men were smoking.
What was in the suitcases, Frank Murphy? I'm afraid to know.
Cards and chips.
Okay, that's all.
Chips
right,
and chips and chips. And they've been portioned down into Ziploc bags of $20 each.
And they're full.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm like, what the hell am I going to do? What am I going to do? Do I go home at this point? I mean, I had a photo shoot the next morning.
That's your solution. This is when you get a piece of paper and you write, I owe you. There you go.
Well, I had the conversation with my wife. I said, how am I going to go to this men's poker night? I mean,
See ya.
I don't have any cash on me. So my wife says, you're going to have to go to the ATM.
Oh, no, that's the wrong choice.
And I said, what should I do? Should I get I probably should get like $20, $40. And Jerry said, no, you need to take out 100, at least 100, and go. You have to go to the party. Okay. So I didn't tell them that I had $100 in my wallet, but I gave them my $20 and I took my chips because they at that point said, well, we have an empty. We need one more because they had 3 poker games going. That's how many guys there were. Nice. And they said, you have to sit here. And the dealer guy, or the guy, I don't know how to describe him. I guess I was the dealer. I don't even know. They were telling me what to do. Okay. They just kept telling me what to do. But they didn't know what cards I had. So in the course of this, I'm just thinking, every time I'd lose, I'm like, I'm that much.
So you were losing.
I'm that much closer to getting out of here.
Okay.
Or at least stopping playing. Because I wasn't going to buy more chips. And then I see another guy comes in and he's got, like, what happened? I just bought $50 worth more chips. I'm like, oh no. This is terrifying to me.
This is the story of how you lost your house.
So at one point I win a hand and I'm like, I don't know what I did. I've got the flashcards, and I'm looking. So I'm looking at what's on the table and I'm looking at what's in my hand and I'm looking at the flashcards.
Probably have like a flush.
And I'm trying not to, give away that I've got some picture cards. Yeah. I'm like, I put them down and I'm like, okay, I win the hand. So, and I think, no, now I'm in it longer. But I was enjoying the company.
But did you win money? Did you ultimately win money?
No, ultimately I got in fact, I ran out of chips and I said, I am done. But they wanted me to finish playing the hand. I'm like, I don't have any more chips. Because it was only 50 cents more to stay in. And they said, well, forget it. We're just stay in. We want to see how we just want to see what happens. Because I think they secretly hoped I would win the hand so then I'd be able to play longer, right? But I ended up being basically negative 50 cents. They just let it wash.
So the point of the story is you're no fun in Vegas.
Right.
I'm not either.
Right. So I feel terrible even saying all this because I have such a good time. The ice cream was fantastic. In fact, I even sent a message to Sean Comerford and said, what was the flavor of the ice cream that you brought?
Brewster's is the best.
Because it was so good. After I lost my money, I went in the kitchen and I had ice cream.
You drowned your sorrows in dairy.
Which might be why it tasted so good.
It's better than booze.
I had an old-fashioned with the giant ice cube.
Oh, you did both. Okay.
At the beginning. Then I had the delicious meal with the boys, and we had a good conversation, and it was interesting.
And fun. You need those days sometimes.
And then even during the poker game, they're fun. They're joshing and teasing and enjoying the fact that I don't know anything. It's the point where I'm pretty sure I'm invited to go back.
But these are kind people because they didn't fully take advantage of you and take all of your money.
Well, they took, I mean...
They took a good chunk.
Everything they thought that I had. They thought they took it all. I didn't tell them I had more in my pocket.
Oh, man, I was giving them the benefit of the doubt.
They thought they took it all. And I was happy to give it to them. I was so delighted. Like, hey. In fact, next time I could just say, here's $20. I'll sit over here. I'm buying my way out. Yeah. Instead of buying
Are they going to invite you back?
I think they might. Now, they won't now because they've seen this podcast. They're like, that guy's a jerk.
No, you just didn't know how to play.
I still don't.
That's okay. One day you'll learn.
I mean, the only thing I know how to do with cards, I used to know some magic tricks. I used to, when I was a kid, I would...
Why does that not surprise me, friends? Frank Murphy was a magician.
Do you know what I gave my grandson for his birthday last year?
See, this is a more age-appropriate gift.
I gave him a magic kit.
A magic kit. See, that's 7-year-old. That's perfect. Yeah. That is an appropriate grandfather gift to that sweet boy.
Yeah.
Will not traumatize him. Might set him up for some weird things in life, but
So I used to. I mean, I wasn't great at card tricks, but I knew a few.
Okay.
I knew a couple of basic card tricks. But mostly I was into here's the little thing, the balls or the things you make move around. The other accoutrement. I preferred the other magic tricks. With that you would see a magician do. There'd be some kind of box and something goes in and disappears or comes back out, or the silks that change color, or the.
Okay. See, I'm not smooth enough to do any of that, and I am also
wasn't either.
very clumsy. So I would be flipping everything over, and balls would be rolling out everywhere.
That's a good cover. You could. That's a good thing. You could really fool people that way.
I would be a good clown, but I hate clowns. Clowns are another thing that terrify me.
So Chuck E. Cheese robots.
Yeah, and clowns.
And magicians.
Clowns.
And clowns.
Magicians are okay. They don't terrify me.
I'm always a little suspicious of people with clownophobia or coulrophobia, whatever it's really called.
Is that what it's really called?
Yeah.
Why is it? Clowns are scary. They're so scary.
They're not supposed to be.
But they are.
But what?
They haunt my dreams, Frank Murphy.
I mean, nowadays there are scary clowns. But what about an innocent circus clown is scary?
Don't you remember that movie from the 80s and it was Killer Clowns from Outer Space? I saw that when I was a kid and that was it.
See, but back in those days, that was it would be like saying, what's your dog, Cavapoo? It would be like saying killer Cavapoos from outer space. It was ironic. No. You took something that was benign and harmless, as in clowns, used to be benign and harmless.
No,
but
they're not.
Well, you know who ruined clowns?
No.
John Wayne Gacy. Anyone? Hello? Mm-mm. You don't know who that is?
Mm-mm. I'm just paralyzed.
He was a serial killer.
No, I know who he was.
Okay.
This conversation is getting terrifying. We need to course correct quickly.
Well, I feel bad
killers.
That I was fond of clowns as a child.
Animatronic scary things and clowns. Scary, scary, scary.
I thought clowns were fun, amusing. I used to buy High C that had the picture of Emmett Kelly on the...
It was a different time, sir.
All right. I loved going to the circus.
Ooh. Mm.
I remember meeting some clowns when my kids were little, and they would come up and the Ringling Brothers, and they would wave to my daughter as they were doing their little clown bit.
I don't think I'm alone in this fear of clowns.
No, you're not. A lot of people are afraid of clowns.
Just like a lot of people are afraid of mascots. Have you seen that when mascots are around? And there's a lot of weird mascots out there.
Well, let me close out this with an actual fear of mascot story. Okay.
Yeah.
I told you about the boys. You got Artie, Timmy, Charlie, and then Lucy, and then new baby coming TBA very soon, next week.
Nice.
Or maybe
next
2 weeks.
Week?
2 weeks.
You're like next week. Soon.
Mid-May, May 16th. Anyway.
Awesome.
So of the 5 beautiful grandchildren, the 3 boys are, they're all rough and tumble.
Yeah.
They went to a birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie, who is, I guess, 5-ish, close to 5. He'll be 5, 4.5. He sees these mascot characters. Now, at this kid's birthday party, whoever it was, they didn't put the money in to getting the good mascots.
It was the second-rate costume.
So you've seen these where it's like one-off Mickey Mouse.
Yeah.
And as an adult, we look at it and go, well, that does resemble Mickey Mouse. But kind of looks like those pictures from the 1950s when Disneyland first opened, and you're like, "Ooh, what's wrong with Mickey and Donald? They don't look right."
Something's wrong.
Yeah, something in the proportions.
Off.
You can't figure out exactly what it is. They're too tall. Number one, their head is not giant. The head is not big enough. But so anyway, Charlie.
What character was it?
I don't know. I think it might have been, I assumed it was Mickey or Minnie or
Okay.
somebody, but whoever it was, Charlie thought he hated it. He says, he was telling his mom,
Scary.
I don't like the people with the big heads. And he would run away from them at the party. So, however...
And it was his party.
No, they're at some other, like...
Oh, they're at a kid's party. I gotcha.
Yeah, the three brothers are all invited to some kid from school that's having a birthday party. And it's, the parents has got money. They've hired costume characters.
But not enough money to get the top right.
You can't get actual Mickey Mouse. You can only get knockoff Mickey. You've seen them.
Jeff Bezos money. I don't think you can get real Mickey.
You've seen the ones where like you hire the superhero characters.
Oh yeah.
They're more convincing to me.
They are. There's good costumes.
But this is the mascot
Disney
heads.
princesses. Yeah.
Okay, so the mascot heads.
No, scary. I get it. I get where you're
going. We can talk about your chicken mascot from the Tennessee Valley Fair.
He's a rooster.
Okay, but the person inside the mascot costume would recognize me.
Yes. Yes, she would.
And then when I would encounter her performing in another venue, in another...
As an opera singer.
Okay, so I don't know if I'm allowed to say any of this.
As an opera singer.
I was sworn to secrecy.
So here's what's also funny. She doesn't do it anymore. She's also a Presbyterian pastor.
I knew all of those things.
You never know who's in the suit. So
it's funny because I would always get like an extra strong hug, and I'd hear a whisper coming through the mouth. It's me. Like, okay. So Charlie at this birthday party, as now things have calmed down. He stopped screaming.
Okay.
Everything's fine. He's just staying away from the mascots. Charlie also wants cake, birthday cake, and he wants it bad.
Naturally.
Right?
Yeah.
And he's the third brother, so he knows that if he's got to, you got to get in there. So it comes time to sing, blow out the candles, get to the cake. So Charlie manages to get right up in there next to the birthday girl. Okay. And I think it was a girl's party, I think. And he's right up in there, and they're going to take pictures. And Charlie is ready because and my daughter's saying you could see the eagerness on his face.
He wants that cake.
Because he wants the cake. Until the little girl's mother said, "Oh wait, we should get the characters in the picture."
No.
At which point,
thanks, Mom.
Charlie,
so did he stay the course and stand there, or did he
screams in terror? And
that's his under the table at Showbiz moment that he will be talking to a therapist about one day, and he'll pay a lot of money.
No, he's right.
If the trauma of it all.
If the mascot character, my daughter said they were creepy looking.
Creepy.
Yeah. If they had gotten a higher grade of mascot, he might have been okay.
So parents, if you're listening, always pay more for the nice mascot.
Or just don't get him at all.
Don't traumatize your kids.
Why waste the money?
And don't ever get a clown.
I mean, I'm saying you can get a magician.
Get a magician.
One time when I was like 10, I got paid $100 to do a magic act at a 5-year-old's birthday party. That's another story for another time.
That's where it all began, folks.
Thank you for shopping online at our merch store, frankandfriendsshow.com/store. Get some of the fabulous merchandise. Want to take a sip? Also, go to audibletrial.com/frankandfriendsshow, where you can get a free 30-day trial of Audible, and during that time period, get a credit to download something as an MP3, keep it forever, and then, of course, they're assuming that you're going to want to stick around and continue subscribing and get many more downloads over time. So that's audibletrial.com/frankandfriendsshow. Sarah Roberto, do you have anything you want to plug, or you just want to say?
Just Mo.
Just
Mo's here.
Mow the tortoise.
More the tortoise.
Well, tell your fine husband I said hello.
I will.
And your fine father-in-law and all the other fine Robertos.
Yes, all the fine Robertos.
And how much I appreciate them.
Yes.
Okay, and thank you for inviting yourself to be here.
I love to invite myself to
as a friend of Frank and Friends, because it made the hardest thing in the world to do. That's of course an exaggeration. When you're in shows, one of the most difficult and time-consuming things to do is book a guest.
It is.
So when you're trying to book someone for an interview, it takes longer to set up to do all that than it does to do the actual show.
Seriously. Yeah.
So thank you for saving me all of that trouble.
Anytime you want a wild card host, have me back.
You got a deal. That's shaking on it. It is the Frank and Friends show. I'm Frank Murphy.
I'm Sarah Roberto.
Thank you for watching. We'll talk to you again next time.